Welcome back to the channel. So if you follow us along, you'll know that we got the motor put back in the M5. We got it started up. We took it on its first test drive in front of the shop. And we had a little bit of noise coming from the bell housing area. So come to find out, being that the factory dual mass flywheel is still in it, it's been on and off the car 4 times or so. It's got 100,000 miles on it, and it was wobbling, and the springs get loose and they'll create chatter and stuff like that. And I didn't want to break the motor in with that and potentially have like crank walk or anything crazy. So I started looking at options, and I found Clutchmasters produced a single mass flywheel that was 8 sprung. And so I reached out to them, and we were going back and forth on like feedback and how it worked and et cetera, and come to find out, they were doing R&D on a 10 sprung version because it was a lot quieter at idle and it didn't chatter and things of that nature. So I got them to send me the 10 sprung version. It's not quite available yet, so we're gonna use the car, do R&D for them, provide feedback, and check it out. So this is the brand new 10 sprung single mass flywheel for DCT transmissions. The 8 sprung, you can see the springs in between the bolt spacing here. This one should be a lot quieter at idle and it shouldn't chatter. This is for the F10 M5 chassis. So I'm going to get the M5 racked up in the air, start pulling the exhaust, the drive line, and the transmission, and we'll get this thing slapped in and see how it shifts. Okay, so now that I got the exhaust out of the way and the shields out of the way, next step is we're going to pull the drive shaft. So I'll pull these 213s in the middle for the carrier bearing. I'll pull 3 of the 18s that are up here. I'll pull the transmission mount out of the way, let that hang. I'll flex the drive shaft off and to the side, and then we'll secure it to the lift over there. Exhaust is off, all the shields are out of the way, drive shaft smoothed out of the way, and we're getting ready to start pulling the bell housing bolts. So to get to this point was really easy. If you're going to do this at home, it's pretty much just at the front here. You've got 11mm bolts for the downpipe to the exhaust connection. You've got 1 center brace behind James here that is all 13s. Pull those 2 out of the way. Then the back brace is a mixture of like 16s and 18s to pull those. Then the heat shields are all 8mm. Pull those out of the way. Pull the 18s right here on the front of the drive shaft. The 13s on the carrier bearing. Then we can slide it out of the way. And then at that point, your transmission is exposed. I've got our transmission jack right here. So I will start pulling each one of these E-Torx bolts and getting some weight underneath it, and then we'll slide it off and pull the housing down, and that will expose the flywheel. So I need all of that, all the B-roll. Give me an extra glove.
Extendo grip for the win. Well, that was easy.
Yeah, good old dual clutch.
And she's out.
She's out. And that can just sit right there. So that exposes our flywheel. See, this is what I think. The springs wear out.
Yeah.
No good.
No buenos.
So we didn't want to drive the car at all that way. And which is why Gage is over here now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's flush. That's just the springs in the dual mass that are wore out.
That's crazy.
So that's where our wobble came from.
Yep.
So we will avoid that altogether with this guy. Comparison of the two. Faster shifts, and I don't have to worry about that crap anymore. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna, so I gotta take some measurements on bolt length for the new flywheel to make sure it doesn't stick out. But it did say we could reuse the OEM bolts. So I'm gonna pull all these, get the flywheel off, and then we'll start checking measurements on the new one. If I don't take myself out this way, we're good. Because we could see it wobble there. And I'm not picking it up off the ground. That's bent bad. Dude, those look like they'd be too long, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll put a couple of these in just to make sure it goes where it's supposed to. Because I'm afraid they'll bottom out. Yep. In theory, that should be all right. Grab some Loctite and double check these specs. So next, before we proceed with attaching this portion of the flywheel, this tool will bolt up here, or really in anywhere of your choice that it will line up with the teeth, and it will lock the flywheel against the engine and keep it from moving so that you can torque it down. All right, so next we are going to put the flywheel bolts in. Now these are torque to yield bolts, so you should replace them. However, these were brand new and the car has 0 miles on them on the rebuild. So I'm gonna reuse them. But if the car has original bolts, don't do that. Torque spec, initial pass is gonna be 42 Newton meters. And then after you get all that done, you'll go back through and it's an additional 32 degrees of angle torque. Where did I set that other wrench at? Oh, right behind me.
Really paint the last rotation.
You can double check them and make sure they don't move.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. My light quit. Oh, there we go. 32 degrees. I'll do the same pattern. Because these bolts for the pressure plate side are M10 by 10, so the chart is irrelevant to the bolts that they supply. So we'll put some Loctite on these and 85 foot-pounds apparently. Guess it would help if I went and got an Allen bit, huh?
Finger tight's just fine.
That's freaking scary, bro.
How many foot-pounds?
That says 85, but I don't like that. Ain't no way. All right, so we're back. The flywheel is in and torqued. The pressure plate is on here and just bolted in by hand. So one thing I wanted to mention, because we had a little bit of an issue, we had mentioned, the torque specs were not mentioned for these M10 bolts on the card that came in. So what happened was we had a little miscommunication between us and the company. We called and the wrong torque spec was given, and I actually pulled the threads on these. So this is flywheel number 2. And the whole reason that I wanted to document this part of it is they took the time this time to laser etch on the flywheel, torque to 38 foot-pounds with blue Loctite. That was not on the original design. There was no specification given, at all. And then when we called, the wrong specification was given to us, so it ended up costing both companies some time. So I just wanted to put that out there. For future orders, this is now etched on the flywheel, so there should be zero reason to get any of this wrong. And so I thought that was really cool that they put that on there. 38. Yes.
Is that what it is? 38?
Yeah, 38. The ARP bolts for the crank side, flywheel to crankshaft, are 80 foot-pounds. And then pressure plate to flywheel on these is 38 foot-pounds. So other than that, it's in. So I'll pull this back off, get the transmission back over here, and start stabbing this thing back together. So just pointing this out for a recap. This is a stock dual mass flywheel that comes on the M5. This is a single mass flywheel conversion with a 10 sprung center hub. And this goofy thing was just flopping all over the place and causing me some vibration that I did not like. So we're gonna ditch that, and this one should give me faster shifts, zero vibration, and hopefully a lot of fun on this car.
You got any advice to DIYers on stabbing a DCT back in?
Don't do it on the ground. That's terrible. But outside of that, no, I mean, DCTs are pretty easy, man. Because you don't have any torque converter or any of that crap to have to fight. Might help if I pull that out of the way. The biggest thing I would say, if you're talking, you asked me about DIY guys, the biggest thing is lining the dowels up. Converters suck. That's why I like these, because they just, that's it. Transmission buddy. Definitely. Matco one, if anybody wanted to know specifically. Yeah, Gage has wanted one for months.
7 foot of extension. So. Look at that curve.
Gage is all about it. He's ready. All right, so transmission stabbed in, bell housing is tight. These O-rings, you can reuse them as long as they're not like kinked or tore or anything like that, but make sure you don't drop the O-rings. Put them on the transmission line first before you go to put those back in there. And then
what do you got after this?
After this, I'll start, I'm gonna change the transmission mounts just while we're in here, put a new mount on, and then I'll start bolting exhaust and undershields and all that stuff back on. We're basically done. I got a ground wire to hook up, the shift cable on the passenger side to put back.
You gonna drive this home tonight?
I'm gonna try.
So trans is in?
Yeah, transmission's back in.
New mounts in?
Yes, sir.
Heat shield's going up?
Yep. And then we'll start hanging exhaust. After that, and hopefully drive this thing home tonight. It was funny as hell. Logan couldn't breathe, he was crying.
And the exhaust.
Flywheel's in, so we had some issues that was addressed as you saw earlier on, but it is in. Car runs. It doesn't make the weird knocking noise that we had from the loose stock one. We have a little bit of high-pitched chatter from it being a single mass flywheel, and I mean it's faint, but which is completely normal. All my 3-pedal cars have always experienced it. You can raise the RPM or whatever you want to do. Doesn't bother me at all. But other than that, I mean, yeah, thing's in, it shifts great, runs great. We just have to finish breaking the motor in, and so we can actually put some power down and play with the tune and that sort of stuff. But flywheel itself is in, and I'm looking forward to driving this thing. So.
spicy.
It's always spicy.
This thing sounds so cool.
That it does. So windy.
So can you actually tell the difference on the flywheel?
I can, yeah. I didn't think I would, but it's instant. It's almost like if you have an automatic trans and you have it in just drive or sport, either one, and you go from that to having XHP, that's about the difference. It's just a crisper, nice, smoother feel. Hopefully we'll be able to start dialing this tune in, because I can't really do much throttle with it right now. I did change the oil in it yesterday, pulled the brake-in oil out of it, and I'm using driven racing oils, but waiting on tuner now.
You can tell this thing's gonna be spicy.
Oh, it's gonna be retarded. It's just not ready yet. So I don't know if he's got a little too much fuel as I go past, you know, half throttle or what. But if I stay under that, it's fine. And it doesn't throw any misfire codes. So I just have to be kind of careful.
Yeah.
And wait on an update, which sucks. Hurry up, it's driving me nuts.